away faster than anything he's ever
That's
seen.
A-Train right there.
Moments later, these crewmates approach him looking terrified, saying that others are being attacked by the aliens and it's too dangerous to stay out here. Agreeing, they all go back to the ship where Shokichi leaves his friend's body in the morgue. That's 2 crewmates down and 13 more to go. Aboard the ship, he confronts the captain, demanding to know what killed his girlfriend. But this crewmate tells them those creatures they saw are the cockroaches. The cosmic radiation sped up their evolution, and they became stronger and faster than any creature on Earth. It's upsetting news. But that's when a hologram of the rich man appears in the room, and he's finally going to tell them the horrifying truth about their mission. Okay. This is not what we signed up for. The whole time, this guy let them think they were just here to spray some pesticide and go home.
Nah, nigga, hell's a track, man. They're ooga boogers, they cavemans, I guess.
This disaster coming much earlier if they understood what it actually takes to terraform a planet, because there were already telltale signs that it was being done the wrong way. The conditions on Mars as we know it are brutal. It has an average temperature of minus 50 degrees Celsius. There's virtually no atmosphere, and since the planet doesn't even have a magnetic field, the cosmic radiation from the sun would be extremely harmful to any life. To terraform this place, the first thing you need to do is start creating greenhouse gases, which raises the surface temperature and builds atmospheric pressure. Now, a famous James Bond villain once suggested we should nuke the poles of the planet to melt its frozen ice caps. This would release CO2 to help kickstart an atmosphere, but the sad truth is that it wouldn't work. There isn't enough carbon dioxide on Mars to make enough atmospheric pressure, and it means we have to bring our own resources to get the job done. One of the best strategies we have is to use algae, because it can survive in an environment without oxygen, which is why there's moss all over the planet. This is called cyanobacteria, which is an organism that uses photosynthesis to feed itself and converts the carbon dioxide into oxygen. It's the same type of bacteria that started the formations of life on planet Earth, so this isn't a terrible idea. Now, at this point, you might be wondering where the cockroaches are.
Roaches would just eat the algae then.
It seems completely ridiculous, but there's actual science behind this idea too. The first animal to be sent into space was not a human, a chimpanzee, or even a dog. It was a fruit fly. In 1947, scientists wondered if exposure to cosmic radiation would harm future astronauts. So the US military launched a bunch of rockets into space and loaded them with fruit flies. Now, the reason they chose a fruit fly is going to shock you, because genetically, they have way more in common with humans than you would believe. Around 75% of all the disease-causing genes in humans have matching pairs in the DNA of a fruit fly, which is insane. This one crazy fact allowed scientists to get a better idea if space travel had any negative effects. And when they returned to Earth, the scientists found that the flies were completely unharmed. This is why these cockroaches are here. But this time, the cosmic rays mutated their genes and sped up their evolution by millions of years. The biggest problem with their strategy is that cockroaches have much less in common with us than flies, and they don't even help terraform the environment. If it was up to me, I would have considered setting termites instead, because they produce more methane than anything else on Earth. A single termite produces half a microgram of methane per day, but when this is multiplied by the trillions, their global methane emissions would produce a huge amount of greenhouse gases to help warm the planet and contribute to creating an atmosphere.
The smallest things down to the biggest
but if they could be genetically modified to feed off of the cellulose of the moss and algae, then their existence on the planet would actually help sustain life-creating conditions instead of just turning into giant cavemen. That's when the rich man gives them terrifying news, revealing that
y'all gonna die.
Insect DNA injected into their bodies, and this will be their only weapon to kill the cockroaches. They're all completely shocked, but before they can ask any questions, the hologram disappears. The captain pulls out a vial from his belt, explaining that they can transform into a human-bug hybrid using these serums, and each of them have a unique superpower for the bugs they're spliced with. But there's a catch. The transformation only lasts
just like that,
and if they inject themselves with too much at once, they will die. This woman complains that the mission is too dangerous and they should turn back. But that's when the ship
signed up for it though.
A massive cockroach slowly approaches through the dust, and the crew
back to Earth.
The terrorist here walks up and mocks the others for being scared, explaining that this is
a
once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
As you
if
are,
they exterminate the roaches, they'll all get a huge reward, and it's better than going back to prison. He walks away to the exit hatch of the Kevin. But the man is about to find out that he is no match for these cockroaches. Outside the ship, he stands his ground as the cockroach approaches, and the criminal quickly injects himself with the serum. Suddenly, his body begins to transform as his skin turns into a shield of chitin. with antennas growing out of his head. This man's DNA has been mixed with the bombardier beetle, which can excrete highly potent toxins as a defense mechanism, but on a human scale, it gives him the ability to shoot these chemicals out like a flamethrower.
What the
Testing
fuck?
his powers, he holds his hands up to the insect and a plume comes out, setting the cockroach on fire. It looks like it's working, but to his surprise, the alien recovers. Nervous, the man pulls out his knife to defend himself, but before he can strike, the insect shoves his hand straight through his body.
Bruh.
That's 3 crewmates down and 12 more to go. Okay.
Yeah, no
these
those niggas
crewmates
strong,
are
boy.
screwed. This mutant cockroach appears to have no weaknesses at all, and that's terrifying no matter how stupid
I
he
got
looks.
some bug spray
This
for
guy
home,
had the
nigga.
ability of a
Watch.
bombardier beetle, which has one of the most potent chemicals in the insect kingdom, creating a reaction that's so violent, it literally makes boiling corrosive liquid shoot out of its asshole. That's got to be the best party trick I've ever seen. But if we can be killed
Moment
this
of
easily
Kamehameha.
with our superpowers, then we
Fellas,
need to
like,
escape
fuck
as
outta
fast
here,
as
nigga.
possible to take our chances back on Earth. Now, this next point is going to freak you out, because scientists have recently discovered that cockroaches are starting to evolve faster than ever before.
Yeah, well,
But
it's just
some
us,
cockroaches
article.
are already developing cross-resistance to a wide range of pesticides. This means that from birth, their offspring become immune to toxins that they've never even seen before.
Wow.
If they're adapting this fast, then in 15 years, we won't be able to use poisons to kill them at all. They can also hold their breath for 30 minutes and survive temperatures of minus 100 degrees Celsius. So there's no way they
Bruh,
can
roaches are
thrive as a
fucking
species.
resilient.
These things are absolute
Yeah, they can
freaks of
survive
nature,
nuclear
which is
fucking
why we need to
bombs
think
and
further
shit.
outside the box and use their own evolution against them. Since they already have
Now,
the
the
technology
radiation
to
does
mix
kill 'em,
insect
though.
DNA with their own,
But it has to
then
be
they
higher
should be able to
dosage
destroy DNA as well.
than it is to
It
kill a
just so
human.
happens that nature has a pretty good method to do this, and it's called proteopathy, which are diseases that cause proteins to fold incorrectly. This is the same thing that caused the mad cow disease panic in the 1990s, and it's the perfect weapon to use against these cockroaches. The disease works when a certain gene makes corrupted prion proteins, and they become infectious virus-like organisms that make lethal copies.
This is what
of
the
themselves.
people
These
who
proteins
know
then
about
spread
this
throughout the
see when
brain,
they look at
causing
it.
neurodegeneration and
They be like,
death.
look, they're fighting.
The incredible thing is that this disease can be spread through transgenesis, which means different species can be affected by the same disease and can even be inherited from your parents. This is exactly the kind of evolutionary disaster we need if we want to exterminate the species. We can't fight them with brute force, but we can interrupt their reproductive cycles and corrupt their genes so that they spread hereditary diseases throughout their population. Eventually,
So
they
how
all
those things
carry
are multiplying?
neurodegenerative
Like,
genes
which one is
encoded
female,
into their
which one
DNA,
is
and
male?
in a few generations, they might breed themselves into extinction.
But then again,
Now,
yeah, you
researchers
can tell the
are
difference between a
already
female
successfully
cockroach
using
and a
gene
male
splicing
cockroach.
technology like CRISPR to not only remove genes, but to add new sequences into our DNA. With 500 years of this technological development, it's not hard to imagine that we would have the ability to hack these cockroaches' genome, corrupt their PRNP gene, and give them all a savage case of artificially engineered Huntington's disease. If anyone had thought to take a step back and try to solve this cockroach problem in the lab instead of with their fists,
coulda nuked-
they might have
they
wiped
coulda
it
nuked
out
them,
a long
though.
time ago. The others are
Well,
horrified by the
That
crewmates'
wouldn't work.
plot, but that's when they notice another cockroach on the ship's window, and it starts smashing its face into
Bruh.
the glass. This woman assures the crew that the windows are shatterproof, but suddenly she hears a crack. The creature breaks through the glass
It's
and
good.
falls into their spaceship, killing 2 of them in the process. That's now 5 down.
Damn, nigga, back to the lobby.
Pulls out a serum, ready to take a
They
look.
was in the lobby, my
It
nigga.
insists on handling
Yeah,
this
they ain't
himself.
going back to Earth now,
Injecting the
nigga, they got
serum
no
into his
window.
neck, the captain begins to transform into an insect,
Oh, boy,
and it's
trying to be a
much
hero.
stronger than the last. His DNA was mixed with the
The
bullet,
bullet
ant,
ant.
which gives him the strength to lift over 100 times his own weight. Now transformed, the captain lifts the cockroach up into the air and slams it down into the floor, killing it in a single blow. Suddenly, the ship's radar goes off, alerting everyone that outside
Oh, that's a
thousands
lot.
of cockroaches have surrounded the entire ship.
That's a
and
whole
they won't
lot of
leave without a
roaches.
fight. The group tries to launch the
Bitches
shuttle,
know each
but the
other.
takeoff system is glitching out, and there's no way to
Yeah,
fix
nigga,
it.
there's no
The
window.
ship is stuck
Bruh.
on Mars,
Fuck
but
y'all
the
doing?
captain
Yeah.
Space
he
with no
tells them
window.
he'll make a distraction so they can drive to the old spaceship that landed
Nigga
10 years
dead.
ago and
This
bring
nigga-
back
that
spare
nigga
parts to fix
distracted
the
to
plane.
10
go
years
He
ago.
explains that when the insects are killed, they produce a pheromone which attracts other roaches.
Oh,
This will
wow.
draw them inside and clear the road to the other ship. It's the only way they can make their escape, and the crew agrees to the plan. As the insects start climbing up the ship's hull trying to break in, the crew heads to the vehicle bay where they prepare to leave. This woman tells the serial killer it's his turn to use his powers, and the man injects himself with a serum before turning into the most disgusting insect of them all.
What?
He was given the DNA of the McLeod bug, giving him the ability to shoot out gas that acts like a jet engine, and this will be key to their escape. As the doors start to open, they're horrified to see a whole army of cockroaches waiting for them.
My boy working in heaven.
That boy looking sharp. Oh,
Yo,
Big E.
that
He look like a shark.
He look like a tree.
What's good, y'all boys?
Who's good? Oh, he left. Alright, start this shit.
On the other side.
Okay, interesting.
Using
No,
his
I didn't
power,
know
the
that
man
fucking
spits
fool.
fire out of his mouth, sending them over flying through hundreds of mutated roaches. The plan seems to be working, but these creatures
I feel
are
like
about
they
to
worked
make things
together.
so much
it would have been
worse.
better for their odds, but I can understand not wanting to fuck with those things because they look scary
and since we have to fix
alone.
the ship before escaping, our
Maybe
only
shit,
chance to survive is by
fucking 10
fighting
feet
our way out.
cockroach nigga,
Now,
bro.
this is
Yeah,
going to be
nah,
a
you
serious
can't convince me to fight that.
Every time you kill a
Shit, niggas
cockroach,
only want
it
to kill
produces
regular
pheromones
roaches. You think I'm gonna
that
pull up
attract
on one that
more
stands
and
10
will be
feet
so
tall?
outnumbered that they'll
Yeah,
kill
there's
us.
1,000
This
of them.
means we
Yeah,
can't
and you
force
see,
the
they
situation
run
and need
fast
to
as
fight
fuck.
them with a clever strategy if we want a chance at getting back to Earth. Now, the only thing we really have to work
Nigga,
with is our bug DNA. But when it comes to the insect kingdom, there are actually a few interesting opportunities here worth exploring. First of all,
That
let's
is
just
true. That would
address
make
how
more
absurd
sense.
the situation
Like, we
is.
come in
These
peace.
people are literally modifying
think some
their
of them
genetic
do talk,
code
though.
just so they can fight cockroaches on Mars. It's the most
Ridiculous
thing
shit,
you could ever
yeah.
think of. And that's why if we have to play this game, I would want to pick my own insect. If they already have this kind of technology at their
pause it.
disposal,
Oh.
they should be able to use.
Which insect would you be, nigga? And why?
But I'm gonna go for the one with the more familiarized. I'll say Spider-Man. I'll be a spider.
No, what do you mean a spider? What type of spider, nigga? Daddy
Oh.
long legs, nigga?
No,
What
no,
the
no,
fuck?
no, no. Probably a spider that don't use webs, but that use venom. Cause I would like to run around with like venom and then just pop, pop, pop. Not venom, the black venom we talking about from Spider-Man. I'm talking about like running around with actual venom. Cause there are spiders. I don't think all spiders produce webs, but like probably like a huntsman spider, or a spider that like digs on the ground. But most spiders eat roaches. If they find them, they can't just eat
In
and
the
kill a roach.
in the anime, one of them became a huntsman spider,
Oh, see, there you go.
and then he was bodying them left and right. But then one bad thing about the huntsman spider is that it gets tired. And when my boy got tired, ba-bing ba, my boy dead.
Damn. Yo, I
It's
didn't even
a
know that.
futuristic combination of 3D bioprinting
But
and
you
CRISPR
could probably
technology to send
mix them.
DNA
But
data
if I
of
couldn't
another
mix them, then
insect
yeah,
to
huntsman
space.
spider.
Now, if killing these bugs attracts more of them, we need to figure out a non-lethal way to fight them off. For this reason, I would build a team composed of a mite, an assassin bug, a dragonfly, a Darwin bark spider, and a giant silkworm moth. Because these creatures have some of the most overpowered abilities in the animal kingdom. A spider is technically not an insect, but
No,
it's reasonable
nah.
to think that if they can already splice your DNA like this, then they can do it with a
Oh,
spider
she's
too.
close.
With that said, here's how my team would break down.
Here we go
First,
again.
These cockroaches are way
here
too
we go
fast,
again,
and
nigga.
we need
Call your
to
mom,
match
bro.
their
She took
speed.
all my
So
time.
I would give this
Here we
criminal
go
the
again.
DNA of a mite. This insect is only 0.7 millimeters long, but pound for pound, it's the fastest land animal in the world. It can travel 322 lengths of its own
Own
body in
body?
a single second, which would be the equivalent of a human running at 2,100 kilometers per hour. That is 2 times the speed of
superheroes for
sound,
that.
and at
Damn.
this scale, it would be impossible for these cockroaches to hear you coming. Next,
Yeah,
we
you-
need to
you're
anticipate
flying
our
faster
enemy's
than
behavior.
the
So
speed
I
of
would
sound.
give this criminal the DNA of a dragonfly.
And at that
It
point, you
doesn't
just
look
running
special
through them
on the
bitches.
outside, but this bug is actually the most successful hunter of any species on Earth. They have a 95% success rate of catching their prey, and the reason
Yeah,
for
they do
this
have a
is
hook
incredible.
mouth too.
Dragonflies have the unique ability of being able to perfectly calculate where their prey is going to be in the future and track its trajectory to catch it. They also
Damn.
have an amazing
360.
360-degree field of vision.
Damn.
If you apply
They're like
these
air
abilities to
mantis.
human scale, we would be able to anticipate the
Air
movement of every single
Like
cockroach being
praying mantises, they're like
praying
yeah.
mantis. Oh, okay.
And back then, like when the Earth was different millions of years ago, probably tens of millions ago, there was one actually as big as an eagle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they said that thing was alive today. We'll be eating house cats.
Yeah, like even spiders, any insect back in the day, bro.
They're way bigger. Like
way
like
bigger.
Like enough for you to actually pose as a threat to a child, like a 3-year-old or something.
Can you imagine a spider as big as a cow or some shit, bro, coming at you, bro? The
As
fangs
big
are
as a
bigger than your
cow?
arm.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't know
Yeah,
about
bro,
that.
I'm taking my L, nigga. I'm taking my L.
I think the biggest the spider ever got was like as big as a house cat, like dead ass, like just as big. It was like 2 feet spider. I'm like a 2-foot spider? Hell no. But we'll probably treat them like
That shit
crabs
will
and
fuck
stuff.
up people, bro.
Yeah, but we'll probably treat them like
Can
how.
you imagine a 2
Oof.
feet? Can you imagine a spider as big as your dog coming
Nah,
at you, bro? Trying
yeah.
to eat you, nigga. The fuck?
You gonna have to fight that motherfucker. You gotta make sure it don't bite you. That's all you gotta worry about.
I'm
But
throwing
what
hands.
what do we live in a world where like, okay, we're still regular size, but the animals we see in our everyday are small as insects, and the insects are big as the animals we see today.
Oh, yeah,
That
I'm
would be
getting
a
bodied, nigga.
crazy ass fucking
getting bodied.
lifestyle.
I'm getting bodied.
You getting body? Yeah, I'm getting body too. I'm sorry.
If I see
Insect.
a spider as big as a fucking anything. But if I see a spider big as a cat still, bro, I'm like fuck that.
Like
Fuck
I ain't gonna
that.
cap. I feel like if you could scale insects to the size of modern day animals and you put them like versus each other, like I personally think more insects would be killing a lot more animals like
Can
of
you
their
imagine a
size.
fucking ant, nigga? The ant's gonna be in like a whole different.
A weight class. You see how they lift? They lift hundreds of times their body weight. You gonna have an ant lifting up a fucking car, just boop.
Car, boop.
Nigga,
And then there's more ants than humans or some shit, isn't there? Like,
Yeah.
Bro, like there's no chance.
There's no chance.
There's no
There's a
chance.
planet that only have large insects on them. Well, that's crazy. But then again, we were a planet full of sauropods, which is dinosaurs or whatever you want to call them. So it's like now we're a planet full of mostly insects. After that is amphibians, and then the fishes. But it's ruled by humans, but it's actually ruled by insects. But we're just we actually know what the fuck we're doing, but they know what they're doing
You should
too.
watch the anime.
What, the anime? I did watch the anime.
Yeah.
Before they strike.
Yeah, that
Now,
shit was.
none of this
people,
will help
people were getting
unless you have a way
bodied
to
off
kill these
rip out of
cockroaches without
nowhere.
attracting more. So I would
Oh, he does have this too. They have the one where like the kids, yeah, the giant insect island. You wanna watch that one too? Nah, but she good, she here, so
Yeah, Tina gonna be here in like 10 minutes.
Alright, so we gotta hurry up this.
This
This is only last 15 minutes anyways, but I'll probably get off then. I gotta find something
fills
to
it
eat.
with an acid that melts all organic material
Probably
inside
finna
the
go
victim's
to,
body before sucking
probably
its
finna go to
corpse
Wendy's.
dry.
I'm not
It's
Wendy's,
disgusting,
but
but this would
Publix.
get rid of any pheromones from the dead cockroaches, and it would let us kill these creatures without drawing more of them down on us. For the same reason, I would give this criminal the
Silkworm.
DNA of a giant silkworm moth, because it has venomous hairs covering its body. Anyone stung with their poison experiences severe internal bleeding,
Wow.
and
Yeah,
it's
but
even
the
enough to
cockroaches have
kill
a
a
shell,
human.
so
When you
No,
steal this ability
it'll
up,
go through
this
the
venom
shell.
would become so powerful, we could literally walk through a crowd of cockroaches and kill them with just a single touch. Lastly, we need a way to limit our enemy's movement. So I would give this criminal the DNA of a Darwin's bark spider. This thing can shoot out strands of silk as far as 25 meters,
What?
and its web is the
What?
strongest biological material ever.
The fuck?
Yeah,
How would it be
25
like 20,
meal.
25 inches, 20, 25
Bro,
inches, no,
I-
25
I
meters?
think 1 meter is 3 feet, bro.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Let me go.
What the my boy sniping you, nigga, the fuck?
And now he's bigger. He's a human size. That's
Bro, so that's
crazy.
25 kilometers, nigga, the fuck?
Yeah, I
You getting
didn't-
sniped across
I
the
did not
map.
peep that shit, bro.
Yeah, that shit got me off guard.
I'm gonna put 25 meters in feet, bro, just to put in the English, cause a lot of people don't know meter measurements.
Oh, true.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the measurement of a meter, cause sometimes I forget myself too.
It's like it's a little bit more than 3 feet, I
I
think.
think it's a little. I think it's like 3.3, but I'm a meters 2 feet. Yeah, bro. 82 feet, bro. 82
Oh,
feet.
Lord,
That's almost a whole football field, bro.
No, nah, nigga, shut up. No, it's not.
Yeah.
82 feet.
No,
nigga,
no,
it's
no. Yeah, 100 yards. My bad. Oh, 100 yards. But 82 feet is a lot, though.
Yeah, for a small ass spider too.
Bro, 82 feet, bro.
That shit. But yo, I'm about to go. I'm gonna brush my teeth and shit.
Yeah, your girl here. Alright, you're busted,
Alright, bro, I'll see
baby.
you.
Alright, peace.
Yeah, you know will put baby in her, bro, just like the same way they put your mama. Alright,
Oh, yeah, nigga. All right, all right. Stream. I see you later. I gotta go.